بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الحمد لله تعالى نحمده ونستعين به ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله تبارك وتعالى من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله تعالى فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله تعالى، وأحسن الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم، وشر الأمور محدثاتها، وكل محدثة بدعة، وكل بدعة ضلالة، وكل ضلالة في النار. نسأل الله العزيز الغفار أن يجيرنا وإياكم من عذاب النار. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. ما زلنا في شرح رياض الصالحين الإمام النووي رحمه الله تبارك وتعالى في باب إخلاص النية، وكنا نتكلم في مقدمة الناظم رحمه الله تعالى في مسألة النية وأهميتها. We're still inshallah ta'ala in our explanation of Ryaad Assalihin in a section of or gate of Niyyah, and having the sincerity when it comes to your intention in your acts of worship. And if you remember, we got to the part where he said that number one, you have to have the intention for the actual act of worship, which act of worship it is. And number two, you need to have intention for that act of worship to be for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, strictly for Him, and not give anybody or anything else any part of it. And number three, for that you did it in order to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. قمت بالعمل امتثالا لأمر الله تبارك وتعالى. And he gave examples. For example, the salah, which the first is that you are going to pray the salah, and then which salah it is, Fajr, Dhuhr, or Asr, etc. And then subhanAllah, that you intend to pray for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and not giving part of it to anyone. And if you might be asking, how could you possibly give a part to it to anyone? If you are, for example, in the masjid and you start praying and you happen to be by yourself, and then you're praying just a normal way, then all of a sudden you feel like someone walked in, or a few people walked in, and then your demeanor changes, the way that you're doing your salah changes, the length of your ruku' changes, the length of your sujood changes. You are showing more khushu' outwardly, but then it is a part of it can be considered a shirk, because you are because you change, all of a sudden you change because you feel like there's someone out there, and you want to appear your best when you're doing your salah. And this is I'm just giving you an example of the most common ones that people can fall into, and there are so many. ثم قال الثالثة تستحضر أنك تصلي امتثالا لأمر الله, that you have part of your niyyah that you are doing it to obey the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When He said establish the salah in the Quran in so many places and in so many ways, Allah ta'ala mentioned that right after He made it clear in the Quran that right after giving the shahada and becoming a Muslim or being under the fold of Islam is for a person to establish the salah. As without the salah, subhanAllah, the statement of La ilaha illallah remains a hollow statement. Na'udhu billahi min dhalik. ثم قال رحمه الله تعالى أن كما ذكرنا من قبل أن النية محلها القلب، وأن الله تبارك وتعالى عالم بنية العبد. Something that we have to always keep in mind. And the ayah that I mentioned yesterday, Surah Al-Imran, قُلْ إِن تُخْفُوا مَا فِي صُدُورِكُمْ أَوْ تُبْدُوهُ يَعْلَمْهُ اللَّهُ. Say, if you conceal that which is in your chests or you show it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows about it. قال ربما يعمل العبد عملا يظهر أمام الناس أنه صالح وهو عمل فاسد أفسدته النية. نعوذ بالله من ذلك. It's very possible that a person can do a deed and he appears to people, he appears on the outside that it's a good deed, but subhanAllah, it is a deed that is no good, it is nullified because of the wrong intention. The common ones, وبالمثال يتضح المقال. An example, when subhanAllah, a person gives for the sake of Allah, for example. He has the money in hand and he's about to hand it to the person, the needy. What does he have in his mind? People see him hand the money, see him give for the sake of Allah, which is a noble behavior that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us repeatedly in the Quran. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not only see the act of worship itself, but He sees what's in the heart, and it is based on what's in the heart that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewards or holds the person accountable. Is he doing it? And as I mentioned in the first Maghrib of Ramadan, in the small khatira, that subhanAllah, the hadith of Abu Hurairah is pretty scary. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, when he was asked about this hadith, every time he's about to talk about it, he starts crying so much that he passes out. Then he wakes up and he wants to talk about it, then same thing happens. He will cry so much, then he will pass out, and it happened 3 times. Then subhanAllah, he says that the Prophet ﷺ told him that the first 3 types of people that will be the fuel of the hellfire are the following. And then he mentioned a scholar or someone who is a reciter of Quran, and he mentioned the person who is generous and he gave for the sake of Allah, and he mentioned someone who died in the battlefield for the sake of Allah. This is what appears to people. This is the behavior that people see on the outside. But subhanAllah, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows the intention, He brings these people forth. For example, the scholar or the reciter of Quran, and he says, فَيُعَرِّفُهُ نِعَمَهُ فَيَعْرِفُهَا. He shows him the bounties that Allah ta'ala gave him. For example, the ability to learn. Because the ability to learn is not given to everyone, especially to have the patience to learn the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, all its technicalities, all of the different intricacies, all the different rulings that a person has to learn. Memorizing the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, reciting it the proper way. Allah ta'ala did not give that to everyone. So this is a bounty from Allah ta'ala. ذَلِكَ فَضْلُ اللَّهِ يُؤْتِيهِ مَن يَشَاءُ. It is a bounty from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He gives to whoever He will, subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah ta'ala He brings these bounties to life. We have to remember that on the day of reckoning, the bounties of Allah ta'ala will come to life, because the bounties now, as well as our deeds, they're just ideas, but those things will come to life. Allah ta'ala brings them to life on the day of reckoning, you'll be able to see them. So Allah ta'ala shows them the bounties, and He recognizes them. Then Allah ta'ala asks them, so what did you do with them? He says, He makes the following statement. The same statement that He was making in the life of this world. The statement that fooled everybody else. He said, oh Allah, I learned knowledge. I learned the Quran, so I can teach it and recite it for your sake. I learned the knowledge so I can teach it for your sake. This is what everyone thinks. This is what everyone thinks. But subhanAllah, Allah Ta'ala says, كذبت, يقول الله كذبت, وتقول الملائكة كذبت. Allah Ta'ala says, you have lied, and so do the angels. You have lied, and then he is dragged and thrown in the hellfire. Imagine that. Wallahi, this shows you the gravity of the situation. Why? All of that is based on the intention. What was the intention? Because when Allah Ta'ala says, كذبت قد فعلت كي يقال عالم كي يقال قارئ. You did that so people say so-and-so, they go so-and-so the scholar, or they go so-and-so the reciter. That's what you did it. That was your intention. Allah Ta'ala knows about it. People don't know about it, but Allah Ta'ala knows about it. And وَقَدْ قِيلَ, and I like this statement, subhanAllah. Yani just two words that sum it up. وَقَدْ قِيلَ. The things that the praises that you were looking for, they were made. The people that praised you, well, they happen to be here today. Ask them if they can do anything for you. They will not be able to do anything for you, subhanAllah. So it was that their praise has no value whatsoever. Then another one is brought forth, one that was so wealthy and he was so generous, and Allah Ta'ala makes his bounties clear to him, and he recognizes them. Allah Ta'ala says, what have you done with these bounties? Say, oh Allah, I did not leave any avenue in which you like for money to be given for your sake, except that I gave. Then Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala says, كذبت وتقول الملائكة كذبت. Allah says, you have lied, and the malaika say, you have lied. You did it, so people will say, Jawad. People will say, they go so and so, the generous, الحج فلان, ما شاء الله, السخي, الحج فلان, المعطاء, the generous person, subhanAllah. وقد قيل, and it was said, فيؤخذ فيطرح في النار, and he's taken, he's dragged, and he's thrown in the hellfire. Why? Because the intention, Allah Ta'ala knows his intention. It was not strictly for the sake of Allah, because he wanted to be praised. Then subhanAllah, the third one, but people saw that he fought for the sake of Allah Ta'ala, and he died in the battlefield. He's brought forth, Allah Ta'ala makes him see his bounties, he recognizes them. Then he asks him the same question, what have you done with them? Ya Allah, I fought hard for your sake, and I died in the battlefield for your sake. Allah Ta'ala says, and this is Allah, as I said, the highest honor that someone can attain is to truly die for the sake of Allah Ta'ala. Allah will tell him, you have lied. And the malaika will say, you have lied. You did so people say they wasn't so and so, the courageous one. وَقَدْ قِيلَ, and he was said, and he's dragged forth, and he's thrown in the hellfire. Muawiyah, Abu Sufyan, when he heard this hadith, and he heard it from another source, just like he didn't hear it directly from the Prophet ﷺ, he cried as well. He cried, and he subhanAllah, when he was talking to some of the tabi'een, he cried so hard, and he wanted the tabi'een to understand the gravity of the situation, to understand the importance of an-niyyah. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the ability to always recognize, be aware of our own intention before we do any act of worship, because a good act of worship can be completely destroyed by a bad intention. May Allah Ta'ala give us the right intention. Allah Ta'ala, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, will only accept the deeds in which you had the right intention. It doesn't matter how good they are, how much you perfected them, or you tried to perfect them, but if you're missing the niyyah, subhanAllah, they're missing everything. Incidentally, when it comes to, and I will close with this, when it comes to the oppression of people, this is very important for us to pay attention to. It reminds me of the hadith of al-Muflis. The hadith of al-Muflis has nothing to do with our subject except for one thing, and I will tell you what it is. The Prophet ﷺ asked the Sahaba, do you know who is the bankrupt? So Ya Rasulullah, the bankrupt is someone that doesn't have any money, any kind of wealth, any kind of possessions. That he said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, no, it's not the case, but the al-muflis, the bankrupt, is the one that comes to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of reckoning with a lot of hasanat, a lot of good deeds. From fasting, from the prayers, from the Hajj and Umrah and all of that, like mountains. But subhanAllah, he comes and he has beaten up this one and insulted that one, taken the money of that one and oppressed that one. He's got oppression when it comes to, he's got a problem in the mu'amalat. Al-aqidah is good, al-ibadah is good, mu'amalat, subhanAllah, he fell short. And that's a dangerous one. فَيَأْخُذُ هَذَا مِنْ حَسَنَاتِهِ. This one comes and takes from his hasanat. وَهَذَا مِنْ حَسَنَاتِهِ. Another one takes from his hasanat. They just keep taking and taking and taking. حَتَّى إِذَا فَنِيَتْ حَسَنَاتُهُ. Until when his hasanat are finished, no longer, they're gone, they will take from their bad deeds, from their negative side of their records, and they'll be put on his record. فَيُؤْخَذُ فَيُطْرَحُ فِي النَّارِ. نَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ مِنْ ذَلِكَ. So this person comes with mountains of hasanat, but he loses all of them. Not only that, he will inherit some of the bad deeds of the people that he oppressed. That shows you how oppression is bad. So why am I mentioning this? Because these hasanat that this person will lose are actually hasanat, good deeds, acts of worship that he did, and he did them the right way, and he had the right intention as well, which is not an easy combination. It's not always an easy combination. So he had the right combination. These hasanat were perfected. Allah Ta'ala accepted them because there was a good intention, and then he comes and he loses them at the last second. As he sees, he crossed the sirat successfully, and the Jannah is right there. It's just a matter of finishing this qantara, this bridge in which people, Allah Ta'ala, he splits judges between the people that have oppressed each other. So he's almost there, but at the last second he fails miserably because of the oppression of people. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make you and I from the ones that always stay away from the oppression of ourselves and oppressions of others. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make you and I from the ones that are always aware of their intention, have the right intention when they put forth the act of worship. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive our shortcomings and accept our good deeds. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم. سبحانك الله وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. والحمد لله رب العالمين وجزاكم الله خيرا.